Have you ever wondered what it looks like when the arena is on fire after the biggest fight in MMA history? What happens when you bring a dominant wrestler and a supreme knockout artist to the battlefield in a fight for the championship, honour and pride? The highly anticipated showdown between the Eagle of Dagestan and the Irish warlord will remain engraved in the history of the UFC promotion. After the heated pre-fight preparations, we all expected the fight would leave us delighted. But we got much more. We got the fight after the actual fight, because only then did the real chaos begin. The animosity between UFC champion Khabib Nurmagomedov and the former double champion Conor McGregor started with the word chicken that the Russian addressed to the Irish fighter on several occasions. According to Russian tradition, this word is much more offensive than among Americans. Conor's then friend Artem Lobov came to his friend's defence, drawing attention to Khabib's tendency to pull out of the fight, adding that a real champion fights no matter what. Unfortunately, Lobov did not have the same energy when Nurmagomedov met him in person and greeted him with a gentle but disrespectful slap. After this confrontation, Artem called Conor, who loaded his G650 private jet with his Irish boys and headed to Brooklyn. It didn't take long for the Irish mob to find the bus carrying Khabib, with several other UFC fighters finishing up media duties. They attacked the vehicle like angry demonstrators and wanted to completely demolish it. Fortunately, security was on the spot to prevent chaos, but not completely. Conor, as the leader of this invasion, after several attempts to destroy the bus with huge objects, managed to grab a steel dolly and break the window, injuring several fighters, but not Khabib. Both were left frustrated. Khabib was stuck on the bus, and Conor and the team fled the scene with the police on their heels. He failed to do what he wanted, so he chose complete destruction, and the situation had not yet reached its peak. It was September 20, 2018, and after a series of confrontations and incidents, the fighters were in dangerous proximity for the first time. The press conference for UFC 229 was expectedly led by Conor's loud, alcohol-fueled voice. Here, the Notorious took every opportunity to degrade Nurmagomedov, because wherever there are microphones and cameras, there is his empire. This time he didn't have much material for trash talk, because Khabib is an undefeated champion and a highly moral man. However, Conor had found a way to go full madman mode, overdoing the trash talk like never before. Instead of finding Nurmagomedov's flaws, McGregor attacked his private life. His target was everything close to Khabib's heart and everything that had nothing to do with combat. Besides promising to knock him out, Notorious showed that he is notorious indeed. Family, religion and nationality. McGregor opened verbal fire on the Eagle, but Khabib was as cold as ice, knowing that patience is necessary to reach one's goal. Every bullet was intended to penetrate Khabib's psyche and break him before the fight began. But did he manage to do that? The answer came on fight night, but things didn't turn out the way Conor imagined. And they certainly didn't end the way we all thought they would. 17 days later, it all went down. The cage closed and the fighters engaged in a historical battle. Those who expected another quick out from McGregor were quickly left disappointed. Nurmagomedov immediately took him into deep waters, where he tried to drown him, saying to his battered face, "Let's talk now." It was difficult and long night for the Irish nation, especially for Conor, who whispered back, "It's only business," trying to calm the anger he caused himself. Khabib became the first man to knock Conor down, and McGregor was the first to take a round from Khabib. However, his triumph didn't last but a few minutes in the third round, because in the next round, Khabib decided to deliver a finishing blow. Conor's fatigued body was taken to where Nurmagomedov is strongest, and with one brutal face crank, the McGregor era was finished. But surprisingly, The fight continued. UFC 229, Khabib Nurmagomedov's win over Conor McGregor's marred by post-fight brawl. It was after the fight that all hell broke loose, just like in Brooklyn. Only this time, Khabib was the leader of the army, who totally lost his mind. Breaking Conor wasn't enough, so he pointed his finger at Conor's BJJ coach, who signalled him to come closer. He didn't need to show him twice. Khabib jumped out of the cage and flew toward Dylan Dennis like an eagle. His exit from the cage seemed to be a fight or flight signal for his team. Suddenly, the cage was filled with Dagestani fighters who wanted a piece of Conor, who sat in the corner of the cage in disbelief. For someone who got run over for 4 rounds, McGregor quickly came to his senses and went to help his coaches. When jumping over the fence, Abu Bakr Nurmagomedov found himself next to him, with whom he tried to exchange a couple of blows. Zavera Takugov soon joined in but couldn't get his hands on the Irishman. While security tried to separate them, another Dagestani suddenly appeared. Khabib's cousin sneaked up behind Conor and hit him a couple of times on the head. Abu Bakr, who was taken by security to the other end of the cage, quickly broke away and ran towards McGregor, who met him with a sharp left. This time, the Dagestanis showed what Conor once said: when one of us goes to war, we all go to war. A bunch of security had to escort Nurmagomedov outside the arena through the roaring crowd without giving him his belt. Las Vegas has always been the fight capital of the world, and UFC 229 proved it once again. The event broke the record with an attendance of 20,034 fans, and the live gate revenue was $17.2 million. This fight brought in a whopping $86.4 million. Although the main event fighters created a problem of record proportion, Conor went home with $50 million, and Nurmagomedov with $6,640,000. Their net worth went through the roof. This event did not carry the marketing slogan, "The world is watching," for no reason. To this day, nothing has ever topped this UFC moment. This was indeed the biggest MMA fight of all time.